Well, moving to this, Police Minister, the Begitele, promising to tackle crime in Diepsloot. Those assurances not enough for residents. As you can see, this is how they in turn respond to the lack of response to crime in Diepsloot. A burning tire, as we give you those live visuals from Diepsloot, where community members say they want to see President Cyril Ramaphosa, and they say they want him to experience the crime situation firsthand. So let's speak to my colleague Manqoba Mchunu this morning, just to reflect in terms of what we're seeing right now. Manqoba, once again, a colleague, I mean, we did hear this from residents saying that if there is no response, a convincing one that shows commitment from the presidency, you know, community members will have no choice but to take to the streets. Is that the case?
Well, certainly, Tumelo. In fact, as you can see, those tires already starting to burn here in Diepsloot, and that just tells you of the mood here and, you know, the feeling among community members who are saying that they're not satisfied with the answers that they've received from government so far. So they are indicating that they're likely to take back to the streets today. That is just one tire that is burning now. But, of course, there's that public meeting that's going to take place here in a few minutes, we're told, from now. The community members, though, are here. They was already started to gather ahead of that community meeting that is expected to take place here. And they're quite adamant, Tumelo, that they might return to the streets. In fact, you heard earlier on from one of the leaders, Louis Sotoyi, saying that people are quite agitated. They feel that they have not been given the adequate attention that they had called for from the office of the president. Of course, you recall that there was a letter that was sent to the union buildings, to the office of the president, demanding or asking that he come to this community. But up until now, there have been no commitments, there have been no timelines that have been given as to when exactly this is going to happen, even though, you know, there is a commitment that there's going to be a team of ministers, 4 ministers that are going to deal with this issue, that are going to meet with the community and perhaps from there plan when the president is likely to come to this community. But the community is saying that they're not satisfied with that particular response. There's also a commitment that there will be technical teams that are sent here to this area to deal, you know, with the issues, to speak to some of the leaders of this community ahead of the ministers coming here and engaging community members. But I can tell you, Tumelo, that community members are quite angry. They did listen to the police minister yesterday speaking during that memorial, where he had articulated that the problems of Diepsloot are well known to him. In fact, he has been part of the operations. He's been part of the interventions here in this area, but he knows that, you know, those issues have still not been resolved. They are hoping, of course, that they will find lasting solutions when these technical teams come to the area, those consisting of the officials from the various departments that have been listed in that particular communication to the office of the president. But I want to get a sense from one of the community members what's happening now, of course, ahead of that make or break meeting later today. Obed, thank you very much for your time. Austrian Obed, what's happening, Jangamaj?
Obed Mbuku ya Lelang. No, it's another one from Mavani or low kia protest today because of Mavani Ibele Tabaya ya memorial service. Akubonur Mavani Rivernal Ansara, Uta Begitele Obosari satisfied because of Riversata or Aramija Begitele. Reina Sarana today, Koritlo Chocha, struggle Pili, Renyaka Presidente. Ntele president a onanto re ka irang ha ona minister se re monyaka o a itali 1 re nyaka di ministers tse 4 ka moka tsona di tla mo Diepsloot di tla a mo le president because of re lapile ka makhalanga batho ba ba re bola ba re ipale ba sadi ba borena ka mo dijarteng ba bola bana ba borena.
And I spoke to you, I remember, quite a few days ago when this protest reignited, and you were quite, you know, adamant on the fact that it's not all of the foreign nationals in this community. It's a certain group of people that are exacerbating crime in this community.
Yeah, but like I said, haba jikele morao ba ba le kushedi pampiri harare arabanya ke renya ka batho ba bataro e ba dile crime ka mo South Africa ba khona o krala ka minwana ya bo bona ba tishe minwana re khona o tseba re bana le passport bana le visa bana le asylum then re khona ba tseba re ba khona ba krea ka mo e ba e le re o ile crime re khona mo tseba re khona mo nyako la re mo krea ka mo Diepsloot because of re lapile ka bona ma foreigners because of nka be ile re ke batho ba bangwe hebe taba o re tseba re ke batho ba Malawi goba ke ma Nigeria goba ke batho ba Mozambique batho ba Mozambique ha ba di dilo tseo batho ba Malawi ba di ntwe tseo batho ba Nigeria ha ba bolai batho but only motho ba moiwane wa makhalanga o ene re o bola bana ba borena.
Okay, all right. So, Obed, it's going to go ahead, the protest. What are you expecting?
Re tswela pele a re eme re sa tswela pele a re eme o bona re tlhakane ka tsele re sa tswela pele le protest ya rena.
Okay, all right. No, thank you very much. That was one of the community members just speaking to us there, of course, on this protest. We just want to move closer there. He says that they want those who are not from this country, the illegal foreign nationals, to be documented. They want them to have the correct papers to be legalized if they want us to stay here in the country. Of course, you see your visuals moving a bit and shaking a bit. That's because, Tumelo, we're trying to get to that confrontation that is happening here between some of the residents that have already gathered here as well as the police. And I'm going to ask my colleagues just to walk with me here so that you can hear what is happening here. Dinswalo is on the camera, and of course she's going to take us there to that particular altercation. We just want to hear the police have of course come here when they saw the burning tire. So we understand that they're trying to speak to the community members, but I just want to let's listen just to what is being said here.
We police, we arrest. If justice, we release. We can't do anything.
That's why Minister Rai is allowed. If you're not Minister Rai, no, Irambeg I deploy, I deport Irambeg.
We are not from here.
Yes.
We don't know anybody from here.
Yeah.
So you guys, give us information. We're gonna go and arrest them.
Oh.
And release them again. So we are begging for that release. As long as we release them, we are still going to fight. As long as the commissioner releases those characters, we are going to fight.
Commissioner has no power to release anybody. If we as police, if you arrest, we send to court.
After court, they release. So they release and
after that they get the result. Court is looking
so
different with the police.
There is just an engagement between community members as well as police here. Of course, they're discussing the issue of some of the people that were arrested here during the protest and accusing police of, arresting people that are part of this protest and targeting people that are part of this protest. And the police defending themselves. They're saying that when they make arrests, it's not really up to them what happens to the people from there. While Kinswalo Mabaso is the camera and the lens behind what you're seeing here, and just showing you, of course, the tensions remain high here in this community. The community members are quite adamant that they are likely to take to the streets, but of course that meeting will be crucial as far as the future of this particular protest is concerned. It will decide whether these residents are going to go back on the streets, but the mood and the feeling is that of agitation, is that of anger, is that of demanding action and demanding action now. As you can see, the residents insisting and saying that they are going to continue, they're not going to stop demonstrating, and talking with police who are trying to call for some calm and to just ask them not to take to the streets or go to the main street here, but residents of course saying that this is likely to continue. So we are going to keep a watch on it, Tumelo, and of course we'll see following that meeting that is going to take place here, the public meeting with community members, what is going to happen here and whether this protest is going to continue. But of course I can see that there is quite a heated argument here and confrontation between the residents and police.
For that of released, we don't want them to release. So that's why we want Ramaphosa here.
It becomes our problem.
Because of Ramaphosa give us a problem.
You arrest them tomorrow.
Those telling us they are giving us a problem. You police, you arrest them, but the court release them. So that's why we are going to fight until.
Well, those are community members insisting that they're going to fight against the issues of crime here. Of course, they accuse the foreign nationals, mostly those from Zimbabwe, of being the one that are terrorizing this community, or being behind the crime activities here in this area. And as you can hear, the Obed Mpuku, who's one of the community activists here, saying that they don't want that group of illegal foreign nationals or foreign nationals in this community, because they are the ones that are behind the crime in this area. In fact, the police minister also alluded to this yesterday when we spoke to him, saying that he agrees with the community that in fact it is some of the people from Zimbabwe that are behind the rampant crime in this community, saying that in fact there were police that were killed in this community. And those police that were killed, the 2 police that were killed in this community, were killed by Zimbabweans. The people that have been arrested for the crime that happened when a mother and a child, a 15-year-old, were attacked and shot. The minister saying that the people that are in court were also Zimbabwean. So there does seem to be an issue as far as some of the illegal foreign nationals are concerned in this community. And as you can hear, community members saying that they want them out of the community. If not, they want them to follow the proper procedures, to be documented, and to ensure that their fingerprints are on the system. Because one of the things that they say that becomes a difficulty when they are arrested or when crimes are committed is that when they go or they arrest some of these perpetrators, or when police come to the crime scene and collect fingerprints, there is fingerprint evidence that is there, they cannot link it to any criminal because of the fact that they are not documented, their fingerprints are not also on the system. So this is just a community that's saying that they want an end to the crime, and of course pinpointing exactly who they say is behind that crime. We saw the anger of the community last week when they destroyed and they burned some of the shacks that belonged to those that were saying were harboring criminals in this community. But of course we're going to hear from that community meeting what the outcome of that will be. But what they had said on their engagement on Monday when they received the communication from the President's office is that they are going to give the President's office 24 hours to respond. If that doesn't happen, they're going to go back to the streets to intensify their protests for 2 days before the funeral of John Makula, and then return again after John Makula, the former CPF chair, has been laid to rest. So it does seem like there's quite a lot of anger here on the streets, and of course we're going to hear in a short while what the outcome of that particular engagement is.
All right, well, we'll leave it there. Manqoba Mchunu, eNCA reporter out in Diepsloot for us. This, of course, at the back of community members still wanting Cyril Ramaphosa as the president to come and address them, to intervene in addressing the high crime levels out in the community. Seemingly not satisfied with the lack of commitment of dates or timelines as to when exactly that visit or engagement will take place, and subsequently saying they will continue with their protests until that happens.